Hey everyone, Carl here with Literate Lessons, bringing you a deep dive featuring Scizor this week. Scizor won the poll on Friday. If you missed on that poll, this week's poll is live now on our Twitter at LR Lessons if you wanted to go vote on that. Overall, Scizor is a very powerful Pokemon in the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl format, being one of the better steel types, having access to like priority bullet punch and being able to set up with like swords dance. Unfortunately, you do have a big 4x weakness to fire, but you can do enough team building and hopefully just dodge most fire types to make Scizor a great threat. But before we get into the deep dive here, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications for when new videos go live. All that stuff helps us out a ton, and let's just get right into it. One of Scizor's biggest strengths is the fact that it has base 130 attack. It is one of the highest attack stats in this format, being able to easily dispatch with pesky fairy types or even like ice types, other things like that. It's a good ice fairy check for teams that are playing Garchomp or other dragon types. Beyond that though, Scizor kind of struggles. It's a good Cresselia check as well with Scizor, but that means you have to be in front of a Cresselia to do that, and most of the time they won't ever let that happen. Your other stats here, base 70 HP, base 80 special defense, they're okay. You're going to take some hits very well as long as it's not a fire type attack. But what you really lack is using your speed. Being steel types, they're mostly slow in this generation and whatnot. So being base 65 means that everything pretty much outspeeds you, which puts you more reliant on bullet punch, meaning you're more predictable that way, I would say. Technician boosted bullet punch though is nothing to scoff at. It's going to do significant damage with like an iron plate or a life orb attached to it for decent amounts of damage. Looking at some of the things that Scizor can do here, we see we have decent coverage in the terms like physical areas. No more do we get like superpower that we saw in like Sword and Shield, or any like dual wing beat and stuff like that. Instead, we're playing with things like Aerial Ace, Brick Break for our flying and fighting coverage respectively. We still have access to Iron Head, Bullet Punch, U-Turn, and Scizor. All those things make Scizor really powerful still. What's different is we get access to like some of the stronger normal type moves in the game that we wouldn't play. You also get access to Night Slash, so you can do high crit things if that's something you're interested in. But having access to Facade in this generation when everyone is trying to do Will-O-Wisp and Paralysis things means that if you're like, say, choice banded into Facade and just get a lucky status put on you that's not super duper like punishing, Facade will just blow people up super duper fast. Base 140 normal type attack off of that 130 base attack is insane. Other things of note, Thief is in this generation, so you can play with things like that. You have access to like wing attack if that's something you're into instead of playing Aerial Ace. Overall, though, the big things that Scizor draws attention to is having access to Swords Dance. That's a real big deal, being able to go to +2 on a whim and just take things out. Notably, you also get access to Quick Guard. If you are struggling against Fake Out and you don't really have a place to play Quick Guard, you can probably put this on your Scizor. Baton Pass is kind of cool because you can just set up Swords Dances and then swap out. You get access to Iron Defense and Light Screen and Roost and some other stuff like that. So there's cool things that Scizor gets to do on the physical side and on the special side. As for special, you get like Air Slash, Bug Buzz, Flash Cannon, Hyper Beam. Nothing crazy, especially when you have that base 55 special attack stat there. Looking at sets here though, we see this first set here is one of my favorite sets, being in like Iron Plate Adamant. This lets you pick up a Zoomeril and 2 bullet punches. You outspeed it, so notably it can't Aqua Jet after a belly drum into you. You will outspeed it with this set 100% of the time. What you sacrifice though is a lot of your bulk. A lot of what makes Scizor decent is the fact that it has decent bulk and can take a couple hits that are usually neutral and or resisted. Bug Steel has a very good typing, only having 1 weakness and some decent resists and a lot of neutral hits. But you can definitely struggle if your opponent just outspeeds you and incorrectly identifies that I need to take out Scizor. This set also has carrying Scizor with Sword Stance. You're not OHKOing Cresselias with this set. You're more likely going to 2-hit KO after a Sword Stance. Usually the Cresselia sets are much more bulkier than what we're used to, playing almost max defense usually with max HP, so you don't have that, not having that expert belt or life orb or what black glass or a bug plate boost to get that to that threshold there means that Cresselia might be able to stall out your Scizor after an Intimidate or something like that. Running Protect here just means we get to play a little bit safer. We have something to keep our Scizor alive. We don't have to switch it as often, meaning that if we get a Sword Stance up, we aren't forced to switch out if there's like an Arcanine sitting across from us. The next set here is a little bit more of a greedier set, I would call it. This set plays into Scizor's bulk a little bit better, less into speed, looking to use Choice Band to boost you into a good attack range while also keeping the bulk. We get to carry Bullet Punch and U-Turn. U-Turn's very, very good for Choice Band sets specifically, meaning that if you have like a Follow Me user like Togekiss or Pachirisu or anything like that, you can use Follow Me and U-Turn out if you're in trouble. We're also carrying Aerial Ace just for having something that just hits other things. Usually fighting type Pokemon are going to be a good check into what you're doing, being able to resist Bug. So having that Aerial Ace to kind of deal with those like Hariyama or things like that when they show up is just good things to have. And then our last move here is Iron Head. I have multiple times been locked into Bullet Punch and then they just quick guard spam and you can never hit them again. So having that Iron Head there as your alternative steel type attack, if you're not worried about outspeeding them, you can easily just click Iron Head and pick up the KO that way. Looking at common partners for Scizor here, just team building in general, we have things like Ludicolo and Politoed for like rain stuff. We have Raikou and Raikou Arcanine, which is another really powerful lead. And then Togekiss just overall just makes a real good partner in general, being able to redirect those fire type attacks away. My current favorite setup is playing it with that Arcanine Raikou duo though. Arcanine and Raikou both help mitigate damage for your Scizor to just kind of set up and be the powerful threat that you want it to be. Overall though, Scizor really wants speed control and help in that department. So other things you consider like Latios or Latias. You could also consider looking at maybe other fast Pokemon or other threats. You could play Cresselia even alongside this thing, being able maybe like doing Trick Room things with it, making Scizor one of the slower Pokemon in the game. Tyranitar is also a common partner. We see it as just like a pairing alongside Scizor for just like weather shenanigans, trying to beat like Torkoal or other opposing rain. Rain teams can cause problems for Scizor, just being able to have double Scald for burn chances and things like that. But overall, Scizor feels great in this format where it didn't feel great in Sword and Shield. I think part of that was just Dynamax kind of pushed Scizor out, and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl really lacks in the fire type department. We don't see a ton of we don't have Incineroar running around. We don't see a ton of Heatran really. We see Arcanine as like the main thing for Intimidate, but it's super predictable to play around Arcanine. You're not leaving it a -1 Scizor in front of an Arcanine anyway, so you're fine with that. Fire type coverage is harder to put on Pokemon too. I think Togekiss gets like Flamethrower, which is interesting, but overall you're not really running into a lot of incidental fire coverage to punish you for playing Scizor like you did in Sword and Shield. But with that being said, I want to thank you all for hanging out and listening to me ramble about Scizor this week. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at LRLessons for the poll. My co-host Carter is at Mr. Missouri25 and I'm at Musical VGC. Go check out our Discord link in the description down below. You can come join our Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Draft League, which is getting ready to start up at the start of January. There is a paid and a free division. Our tier list just got posted today, so if you're super interested in participating in that, go join our Discord. You can find all that stuff there. And remember to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications for when new videos go live. It helps us out a ton, helps the algorithm send us out to new people. And with that being said, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at in the world, and we'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.